So Drew is finally saying what we had thought about Shamia and how she was performative with that crazy ass apology. Well, let's get into it. Drew also talked about Porsha's apology. There's also some potential good news for Drew in there, so we're going to get into it. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. So shout out to Accidentally Informed for this interview. Let's get into it. Let's start with the good news first, and then we'll talk about Shamea and Porsha. So Drew basically talked about how her album is up for a Grammy consideration. And that is very interesting. Imagine Drew ends up with a Grammy nomination for her album. The rest of the girlies are not going to rest. Drew is now Grammy nominated, honey. And if anything, now I'm even more curious about the album. So I may go over there and listen to the album. Let me know in the chat if you guys have actually heard the album. I hear it's really good, but I've never heard it for myself. Now let's talk about the Shamea of it all. Claudia mentioned that Shamea wanted a fresh start for season 17. I'm like, girl, please. Do you even believe that?
Clap if you care. Clap if you care.
I don't believe she wanted a fresh start, because not with that music playing, not with the performative prayers, not with all of the dramatics. It's not giving fresh season or fresh start for a new season. Let's be clear. Anyway, Claudia asked Drew what she thought about the apology. Drew laughed and she was like, she was so confused with the theme music and it was so performative. Hello. Hey. And it felt like her elders literally made her do it. That is what it was given. And it's like, girl, that theme music needed to go. The trailer was out of line and out of order. It's just so clear that that is so performative. But it's interesting that Drew is also picking up on that. Drew said it's very performative. It's giving they forced her to do it. And that it doesn't even match her energy, because the day before, Shamia was off on Instagram, going off on her, posting all these receipts. Then a day later, an apology. Then 3 days later, she was talking about she should have gone harder on Drew. It's like, girl, make up your mind. Which one is it? Do you think you should have gone harder at her? Or do you think you should have let it go? Which one is it? That's the thing about Shamea. Shamea does not know who she wants to be. So you want to be the humble, the cool girl, the fun girl, but then you're deep down a meanie. So it's like, do you want to be the mean girl that you are, or do you want to be the fun girl? And it's just like she's definitely struggling with what personality she wants to be. Just show up as yourself. People will like, love, or hate you. It is what it is. Don't get me wrong. Nobody is saying that you can't take a step back and actually reflect and determine whether or not you need to move differently. But it's like, after having a whole apology, even the apology was so disjointed. 1 minute it was a genuine apology, then it was not, then it is a whole saga. So it shows that she is just very confused and does not know who she wants to show up as. So she needs to pick an identity and stick to it. Drew is like the rest of us, honey. Drew was just as confused. She's like, didn't she apologize? Like, what is going on? She also talks about how she had met Shamea at the TLC biopic, and she was very humble, she was nice, she was fun, even when she was a friend of the show. But then, now that she's come as a full housewife, she doesn't recognize who she is.
What a mess.
And this is the thing. It's like, when people are waiting for that opportunity sometimes, let's say they've been waiting for the opportunity they think they deserve for a long time. When they finally get that opportunity, they don't know how to act. They are performative. They're going above and beyond to prove that they deserve to be there, even though there is no need for all of that. Drew was also asked about a theory, and she agreed. Basically, she feels like Shamea was basically just out here deflecting. She spoke to the cast multiple times about Porsha instead of just going to talk to Porsha. Then she's at the end creating a narrative that people are trying to pry into her business with Porsha. And this is the thing. It's just like the lies. You can't keep up. Shamea definitely had the worst season in history. I think Shamea and Malo, I would say, they had their worst first season. And that's the thing. When you make a longtime friend of the show a peach holder, I feel like it ends up in tears because they've been awaiting this peach for so long that they feel like they have to overperform just to keep the peach. This is my personal opinion. Jury said like when she was sharing this with her and Angela, they were in a very intimate setting. She was taken aback because she had no clue that this was happening because she thought they were like her and Porsha were tight, right? And the fact that Shamea could not stand on business to tell Porsha to her face or even privately how she felt made her understand who Shamea is. And she doesn't have a leg to stand on. Drew made it worse, honey, because she said maybe she has 4 paws, but there's no legs there. I'm like, okay. Alrighty. So I guess we're not getting rid of that lapdog allegations. But the thing is, I'm at this point where I don't feel like Shamea is even a lapdog. Because a lapdog is someone who is out here riding for you and stuff. Shamea is confused. She does not know who she wants to be. 1 minute she wants to ride for you, the next minute she's talking about you to anyone who cares to listen. So it's like there's such an inconsistency in who she is. And I almost bet like it must be very difficult to have a relationship and maintain a relationship with somebody like Shamea, because it's like 1 minute they're up, the next minute they're down, next thing they're up, then they're down again. It's very difficult to know where you stand with people like that. You don't know if you're good or you're not. And you know, like if you're not good, you're going to have to find out from someone else because they're not going to have the balls to tell you that they're not good and things are not good with them and things are not good with you guys' relationship. But anyway, Drew was asked about the ladies coming back to the next season. She feels like there's a lot of unfinished business and conversations that need to be had. So she's hoping that all the ladies would come back. And I agree with her, even though, like, personally, I don't really see it for Shamea right now. And I don't care if she decides to return or not. But I guess if she does come back, there will be a lot more conversations that need to be had. I just hope that it's not going to be another Porsha versus Shamea or Shamea versus Porsha, because we've heard that storyline. We don't care about that storyline. We don't want to hear any more about it. The other thing I picked up on, and I think is very interesting, is the way Drew responded to the question about Kenya and Brit. She says that she's shocked that her name got thrown into it because Kenya never discussed any information or tea that she was planning with her. That is not what was said. That is not the allegation. And I feel like when people are deflecting, people choose to intentionally misinterpret whatever it is that is being said. Nobody said Kenya discussed any information or tea with you or told you what she was planning. What people were saying is you gave allegedly the information to Kenya, not the pictures, information. You gave some information. And it's like with everything you're doing, you're still not clearing it up. I need a yes or no. Did you give Kenya any information about Brit? Did you tell Kenya anything about Brit? Did you mention Brit ever? When you mentioned her, what did you say? These are the questions I need her to answer. And it's interesting that people are letting Drew and Kenya play on words and play with them. That is so weird to me. If you listen closely to what is being said and what is intentionally not being responded to, you start to figure out where the gaps are. For instance, the big gap here is, did you provide any information, anything? Did you say anything about Brit that was instrumental? Did you say she used to do webcam back in the day, allegedly? Did you say any of these things? These are the questions that I'm going to need you, Drew, to answer. But I don't think you are. I think you are very good. You definitely have some media training. You know how to answer questions. You know how to divert and go around questions you don't want to answer. It is a very good trait. The only thing is that it makes it difficult for people trying to actually get to the bottom of what the truth is, but it comes in easy and beneficial when you actually do something crazy and then you don't want to answer a direct question. So I guess it does have its benefits. Claudia asked Drew about the pictures and if it was really Brit. She said it looks like her, but then she has had a lot of work done, so it's hard to tell if it's her before the surgeries. And I get it, because if someone has had work done, I don't know if Oh yeah, I think she did her nose at least. I think that we know. So if someone had work done on their face, they're going to look different, especially if it's their nose, jaw, all those kind of things make such a huge difference in people's appearance. So I will not be surprised. Maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it looks like her, but it wasn't her. Drew also spoke about Porsha's apology. She said initially when Porsha stood up, she was not knowing what was going to happen. Are you trying to knock if you buck? She didn't use those words, but you know what I mean. And so she didn't know whether it was going to be an apology and a hug. All she knew was like, she just needed to be ready, because imagine someone standing over you. And I get that, completely agree with that. If someone was walking up to me, standing, whatever, if you're walking up to me, I am going to be ready for whatever. And I'm just going to brace myself, because you just never know. And you don't want to be caught slipping, because if someone really gets you, they can get you really good. Anyway, Drew said she was shocked about the apology, but then she would hold Porsha to see if it was performative or if it was real. Now, that is how you handle things. If someone apologizes, you can be like, I'm gonna watch and see if this person is going to show changed behavior. So I get it. I get that Drew just wants to wait and see what happens, because I love you, girl, Porsha. But, you know, I did see and think, this is very intentional. She wants to make sure Drew is relaxed, and that will take some heat off her. And she's handling the reunion just how she should handle the reunion as a seasoned vet. So anyways, that is it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What did you think about the interview with Drew? Did you think that she was telling the truth about Kenya not giving her any information? Do you think there's more to the story? Also, what did you think about her opinion about Shamea's apology? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it, so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.